Before we begin, we dare you to hit that subscribe button and check the description for goodies. Did you know? Someone told me I would be only 30% as heavy on Mars as I am right now. That means I am not fat, I just live on the wrong planet. Today, we will acknowledge you about amazing facts about Mars. For years we have been discussing whether Mars had life or not. Mars had water in the ancient past. Indeed, Percival Lowell mistook canali findings, Italy's term for canals, as proof of extraterrestrial canals on the Earth. Lowell's observations were obstructed by his day's poor telescope optics, and his canals were optical illusions. It turned out that a lot of satellites have discovered other indications of old water, canals grooved in the ground and rocks, for example, that could have been developed in the presence of water. Mars has frozen water today. We are extremely interested in the issue of water since it means habitability. Just put, life is better to exist with water, as we know. In reality, the mandate of the Curiosity rover on Mars is now to look for housing conditions, in the past or present. There is a thin atmosphere on Mars which does not allow for the flow of water or remain on the surface in significant amounts, but we are sure there will be ice somewhere on the planet, and perhaps chilly places. The concern is whether ice can melt sufficient water to support microorganisms in the summer. NASA is currently investigating why Mars used to be warm and cold. My guess is 5 to 10 years of marriage. A thicker atmosphere Mars used to have. The red planet needs greater atmosphere in order for water to flow in the past. So in the previous several billion years something must have changed. What? The energy of the sun, which impact the atmosphere, is believed to have dispersed the lightest types of hydrogen from the top and dispersed the molecules into space. This would reduce the amount of atmosphere close to Mars over lengthy periods of time. The Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution (MAVEN) satellites are investigating this issue in further depth. Mars has extreme highs and lows on the ground. The surface gravity of Mars is just 37% of that on Earth that allows volcanoes to get larger without collapse. That's why Olympus Mons, the highest volcano known in the solar system on a planet, is present. According to NASA, it is 16 miles, 20 kilometers, high and is about the same in diameter as Arizona. However, after the spacecraft, Mariner 9, that found Mars has also a deep and extensive canyon known as Val Marineris. The canyon is in some areas 4 miles deep, 7 kilometers. The valley is as large as the US and roughly 20% of the red planet diameter according to NASA. Mars has 2 lunes and one is doomed to them. The planet has 2 moons, the Phobos and Deimos, that are like asteroids. Since they have compositions comparable to the ones found elsewhere in the solar system, most scientists believe that the gravity of the red planet had grabbed the moons and pushed them into orbit long ago according to NASA. But Phobos has a somewhat brief lifetime in the life of the solar system. Phobos will smash into Mars' surface or tear apart after roughly 30 million to 50 million years because the planet's tidal force is too powerful to withstand. Why is Bruno Mars not called Bruno Snickers? Because he has no nuts. We have Mars on Earth pieces. Remember that we discussed about the low gravity on Mars? In the past, big asteroids affected the planet, as did the Earth. Most of the debris came down on the Earth, although others were thrown into space. That triggered an unbelievable trip where the scrap traveled across the solar system and landed on the Earth in certain circumstances. SNC, Shergottite, Naclite, Chassignite, geological composition types, is the technical term used for these meteorites. The gases contained in some of these meteorites have been almost the same as NASA's Viking landers in the 1970s and 1980s sampled on the red planet. An unprotected astronaut Mars would kill quickly. Someone who took a helmet has several terrible possibilities. The average temperature of Mars is -50 degrees Celsius near the middle latitudes, generally rather chilly. Secondly, it's virtually without a mood. Only 1% of what we have in the world, on average, is air pressure on Mars. And finally, although the composition has the atmosphere, it is not compatible with the human mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. In particular, Mars possesses some 95% carbon dioxide, 3% nitrogen, 1.6% argon and several other atmospheric components. We should send all of Earth's politicians to colonize Mars. All that hot air would make it habitable quickly. In the early space age, we thought Mars like the Moon. The early NASA probes flying around the red planet all happened to be picture places on planets with craters. Some researchers therefore, erroneously, believed that Mars had a Moon-like environment, cratered and almost immutable. All this changed when in November 1971 Mariner 9 came on the planet in orbit and found the globe swallowed by a worldwide storm of dust. Moreover, peculiar characteristics pointed above the dust, which proved to be sleeping volcanoes. And Mariner 9, as previously reported, located the enormous Mariner Valley. It has irrevocably transformed our vision of the globe. In its atmosphere, Mars has methane. Methane might be seen as an indication of biological activity, emitted by microorganisms, or of geological activity. And, it is assumed, active planets will have a better chance of living on them. So the methane issue on Mars is one scientific researchers are trying to determine. The agreement. No unanimity exists. Over the years, telescopic sightings were radically diverse and few spacecraft were intended to test the component in detail. The rover Curiosity identified 10 times the methane spikes inside its region, but we do not know from where the spikes originated and why. Lastly, did you know? Scientists have finally figured out what happened to all the water that used to be Mars. Turns out, the planet was once occupied by Nestlé. Mars is a popular destination for spacecraft. There were so many spacecraft which tried a Martian mission that it is difficult to select significant ones in a short essay. The Vikings in NASA were the first landers in 1976. NASA is in fact the only agencies that have so far succeeded in landing on the planet. Among his previous missions, he was the first lander-rover combination to run in 1997, the Spirit and Opportunity to Mars exploration rovers in 2004, and the 2012 Curiosity rover. A fleet of orbiters that throughout the years have mapped Mars to the Soviet Union, NASA, the European Space Agency, and India does not even mention these things. And in the following hour there will be many more spacecraft. Thank you for watching this video, we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a look in the description for goodies. Cheers.